Hi, I'm Cheryl and welcome to my sewing room. I'm going to demonstrate how to make a 9-patch quilt block, and I'm also going to show you some variations and little tricks you can do with it. So let's take a look at this pattern. This is a very basic and very popular 9-patch pattern to do. It's got 9 squares in it. Okay, that's why it's called a 9-patch. And in this one I've used a solid and a print, but you can use a really tiny little print with a large print as long as the two prints stand out from each other. So you don't want them too similar in design, otherwise the pattern might not show up. So I've used 5 darks and 4 lights. So let me show you how to put this together. All right, so what you want to do is lay out your 2 different fabrics in this pattern. And then you're going to take each row separately and you're going to stitch them together. So starting with this row, bring this one on top, bringing front sides together, and stitch 1/4 inch. Then take the next block and stitch it on 1/4 inch. Then go to the next row and stitch these 3 together. Then go to this row and stitch those 3 together. Then you want to go to your ironing board and you want to take these rows and press all the seams on the back side. So press it here and then go to the next one and press. Then you want to lift it up. Now you're on the front side and you're going to press the front side of the seam. But as you're pressing, you're pushing against this seam with your iron. You come up to the next one and push against that with your iron, because you want to make sure that all the seams are going in the same direction. Then you're going to go to the next row and press the seams on the back, then press on top, and then to do the same thing with row 3. Now I'm going to turn all of these over, okay? And I want you to notice that I've got all of the seams going in the same direction. All right, so lay that out on the back so that you see all of them going in the same direction. Then take the middle row and turn it so that this middle row seams are going in the opposite direction of this row and this row. All right, so now I'm going to turn them over. Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to take this bottom row here, and you could start either at the bottom or the top, doesn't matter. Place this one on top of the middle row. Then you're going to line up these seams. You want to get them real snug against each other. It should feel flat if you have them real close. Now notice that the seam on the bottom is going in the opposite direction than the one on top. So once you've got it all lined up, go ahead and place a pin, a straight pin, to lock it in. Then go over here and do the same thing with this. Line it up. Verify that those seams are in the opposite direction and then pin. Then stitch 1/4 inch all along here. Then unfold this. Take this row, bring it on top of the center row, and you're going to match up those seams again, making sure they're going in opposite directions. Pin them, pin across, stitch 1/4 inch. Then at your ironing board, you're going to go back to the ironing board. Let me set these aside. Let me get the finished one. And you're going to press the seams on the back side, both of them. And this one too. Press them on the back side. Then flip it over to the front and press the seams on top. And you're going to push against the seam as you're pressing so that the seam all the way across is going in one direction. And then do the same thing with the other seam. Then if you're going to make a whole quilt, you want to go ahead and put all of your 9 patch blocks together first. Then you put on all of your sashing. Now, if you don't know how to put sashing on a quilt, there's a link appearing in the upper right hand corner that will demonstrate how to do that. Now, I'm going to show you some variations on the 9 patch. This is fun. This is where I get to play a little bit. I'm going to still work with those same 2 fabrics, but I'm going to be introducing a 3rd fabric, and I'll show you how to do that. Okay, so now I've got my solids laid out like that. Now I want you to take a look at this block. This is a 4 patch. I've introduced a 3rd color. So go ahead and lay your 4 patch out. Okay, and there you go. And now you have a completely different look than the first one. It's got a little bit more going on. Now let me show you another block you can do in there. Okay, this is a half square triangle. Okay, right here. So go ahead and lay it out. Lay it out. I'm looking at this upside down. Lay it out. And there you go. Okay, so now you have another type of pattern going on, but I'm going to change it up. I'm going to take this square out and replace it with a green. And now you have a friendship star block. Now this is still a 9 patch. Okay, still that 9 patch design. So now let me show you another one here. Okay, it gets more interesting as you go along. This is an hourglass block. So here we go. I'm going to set it in here like this. And when you've got it all stitched together, you've got this square going on in here. And remember, if you want to know how to make the hourglass, the link is appearing as we go along. Okay, so this is another way of doing the 9 patch. So let me show you one more that is also a lot of fun. I'm going to put my solid blue back in here. And this is a pinwheel block. And there you go. Now this is the ones that I have shown you is not the only way to do it. There's so many different ways to do this 9 patch and so many different ways to introduce your colors into it. So no matter which way you want to make it, put all your blocks together first and then put your sashing on. One more that's even easier, because I love this next one because you get to use up all of your scraps. Here it is. This is also a 9 patch. All of these fabrics I have used in projects from the past, some 20 years ago. I still have the scraps. So you can put arrangement in order that's appealing to you, stitch it all together, put all your blocks together, then put on your sashing, and you have a beautiful scrappy 9 patch quilt. So let's take a look one more time at the finished one. Isn't that beautiful? Now I hope you try this block. Experiment with some other things that you might have in your stash to make it more interesting. Now, to keep informed on all my future videos, and I've got a lot more to come, you want to click on one of the subscribe buttons. There's one down there in the lower right hand corner, one in the upper left hand corner. It's a little round picture of my face. Click on either one of those. YouTube will ask you for your email address. Enter that information, and the next time I have a new video, YouTube sends you a brief email with a big button in the center. Click on it, and then it takes you directly to my latest video. I'm Cheryl, and I'm so glad you came to my sewing room, and I'll see you next time, and happy sewing!